Well, I'm back. I'm sorry it was meant to be yesterday that I put a video out, but I didn't. But I do have the footage, and you're seeing the intro to that. It's been a very busy week. Every week here is a busy week. I think this is now week 3 of owning this house. I think it's week 3 or week 4, beginning of week 4 maybe. Like I said, busy. I've been working on central heating and, well, just general plumbing, trying to put a central heating system in this house, which has never had one, and hot and cold domestic water pipes. We're getting to the point soon where we will rip out a bunch of the water main and reconnect to the new plumbing system and basically put to bed the old one. What little plumbing there was, it was all lead, and that'll kill you. So we're gonna not do that. We're not gonna have lead plumbing in the house. But let me flip this around and show you kind of what we got up to and what decisions are getting made this week. So let's have a little walk around here. You're going to get tired of seeing this walkthrough of this house, but it's the best way I can think of to show you what's going on here. Well, first you can see there's a radiator on the wall here. You'll notice that there's no pipes connecting it to anything. That is the current state of affairs. Actually, you can't see. What you can't see is under the floor here. I've already run the plumbing out here. So the tail end pipes are beneath the floor waiting to be brought up and connected to the radiator. So the next step is to mark the pipes so I know that which ones are the supply pipes and which ones are the return pipes so that I connect them to the correct sides of because basically the pipe comes up. The pipes come up in a bundle of 2 around the middle, and then I'll bend one out that way and one in this way. I just want to make sure I get the right ones on the right side. So next step, mark all the pipes to say which ones are supply and which ones are return. And then we will hook them up. Each radiator is going to have its own, what they call TRV, or a thermostatic radiator valve. So you can adjust the temperature at which it starts to cut itself down. And the other side will have a lock shield, which helps in balancing the system so we don't have too much heat in one place and not enough in another. Out here in the front, the radiator's on the floor. It's not mounted yet, and the same is true of the dining room and the bedroom right above me. And that's because we're going to put feet on the bottom of these radiators so that they don't interfere with the skirting boards or anything like that, that they stand perfectly vertically. So yeah, so that's why there are 3 radiators that are not connected here. I did some experiments on how to strip this Artex, which is horrible stuff. It's like a really thick paint with like a powdered cardboard asbestos blend. So the step is you have to first of all run paint stripper, cover it over with plastic, leave it overnight, and then the outer cover of paint on the Artex will peel off. You can take it off in big sheets. Then you do it again. You apply more of the paint stripper, or you can even do anything wet like wallpaper paste or just water. Cover it with paper towels to keep it saturated, and then you put plastic on top so the water doesn't evaporate or the fluid doesn't evaporate, and it focuses the melting function of that liquid into the Artex. Here's what I did earlier. You can see that is all marble. And my lovely buffer that I have, my orbital buffer for the boat, is going to come in handy, making this come back up to a beautiful shine again once we're all done stripping it. Anyway, let's move on. Someone asked about this piano. It is a relic of the early days of this house. I don't know if it was with this house and just stayed here ever since, but it is a London manufacturer. and was made sometime between 1890 and 1910, which was spot on for the time that this house was built, sometime between 1900 and 1910. So who knows? Maybe this thing has been here for 120 years. We don't know. It needs some work, though. We'll do another session on that. Yeah, this is the other one that's not been mounted. But I did take the old electric fire that was here. That was... Sorry, let me turn this. Yeah, this thing here, which is a more modern contraption. Anyways, and it revealed these tiles. Kind of a weird harebrained pattern, but still nicer than what was there. Been digging up tons of lead, and the plumbers today that came told me that a lot of this gas line was going to little gas-fired radiators that they used to have in all these rooms. So that would explain what that was. I thought it might have been lighting, and they said, no, probably not lighting, but it was gas-powered, like vertical fires that they used to have mounted on the walls or next to the walls, which is, when you think about that, that's pretty hairy. When you think about little gas fires against the walls. One was right here, as a matter of fact, against this thing. You can see where it stained the wall because of the heat. Anyways, you eagle-eyed of you might be able to see that yellow tape and that shiny pipe. That is my new gas main. That was put in today by the plumbers. It runs all the way from the front of the house where it's hooked up to the meter, and it is on. The gas is on. This pipe is filled. It's been pressure tested, and it is good to go. It goes all the way to the back here. Goes through that little padded vent hole there. Goes into the old kitchen here. And it comes through and it's stubbed off. Why? Because when we get the boiler and everything connected in, it's going to be mounted over here. We don't know exactly where, so it's worth just leaving that pipe stubbed there, and then we will fill in that pipe when we mount the boiler. The cylinder for the domestic hot water is going to go here. So those pipes, we're probably going to take advantage of that old flute pipe through the wall to push all those pipes, because there will be a hot and cold domestic water that's going to go through there, and there will also be the central heating's supply and return pipes. And if you look out here, this is the domestic water that is going out to the rest of the house. One of these will be hot, one of these will be cold. And these two pipes over here, these are for the central heating. One of them is supply, in other words, it's hot water freshly heated by the boiler going out to the radiators. The other one is a return, which is bringing that water which has been in the radiators back to the boiler to be reheated. So yeah, so that's that gas main is in now. We've got gas into the house. Fantastic. But on the rest of the plumbing side, we still have a lot to do. The water main comes in down there, and the pipes from it are almost all lead. There's some copper here, but they turn into lead as you go up. So all this is going to come out. This boiler's got to come out. All this piping's got to come out. And then what we're going to do is we are going to run this water main. We're not going to jackhammer this concrete floor here. We're going to run it over here, and we're going to run it over here to the boiler, which is going to go right there. So there'll be a cold water feed to the boiler. So when we want to flush out or raise pressure adjust pressure in the radiator system, the central heating system, we can do that right there. It will branch off, and the cold water supply will continue through here and fill up the water tank for the domestic hot water. So that means we got to remove all of this garbage over here, and that's got to go. That's not a trivial amount of work. We're going to have to shut off the main here, and yeah, it's going to be a big deal. But that's going to happen soon, probably in the next week or two. So stay tuned for that. Let's go upstairs. All of the radiators have been roughed in for the 3 bedrooms in the front here. Got some nice, there's the plumbing here. It comes from that little room up there is where the pipes come up from the ground floor. And then they split in there. There's underneath the floor. And this is the radiator supply right here. It comes through that wall from the toilet room. Branches off to that radiator over there. This one you see on the pile here, this is I'm just laying it there so it doesn't fall over and get knocked or anything. This is the towel warmer / radiator for the bathroom. And then the pipes continue. The pipes go straight forward under that wall, and that goes to the radiator in the master bedroom. And they branch to the left and then turn to the right. And they go off and feed that. What was probably the nursery back in the day. And again, this radiator is not mounted yet because I'm waiting on legs to go underneath the radiator. But there you can see the pipes sticking out of the floor there. We still have to run the pipes the last few boards out there, but we'll mount the radiator first before we do that. And again, I was running a little experiment on how to get rid of Artex. This is some of the thickest Artex. This is what it looks like. I mean, heavily textured, horrific looking stuff. And then here's what it's covering up. It's beautiful red marble. Bonkers, huh? Yeah, somebody at some point thought, oh, this looks really nice. Let's do this. Let's cover up that horrible marble with this. And they thought that was a good idea. They were wrong. They were wrong then. They're wrong now. It's a monster to get off, but there is a process, which is good. There's a whole bunch more lead that I've plucked out from underneath the floorboards, as well as electrics. Give you a glimpse of the pipes coming through here. So these are the pipes that feed the radiators up in the front 3 bedrooms. They come from here, and those T-junctions that you see down below there. Not these. These are the domestic water. Those will follow like these, go through this wall. So you'll get a cold supply coming off the cold water here. It'll branch off and feed the toilet there. And then the hot and cold domestic water will pass through the wall here. These pipes, these white pipes that you see here, these are for the radiators. So there's a two T-junctions there, which will take hot water and supply and return, and that towel warming radiator is going to go right here. So those 2 empty little sockets there are going to take the pipes that lead to that radiator. The rest of this pipe is going to go behind the skirting board and go all the way into the back bedroom. You can just see those 2 skinny here pipes, not that big fat one. That's the drain for the bathtub. Anyways. Yeah, I'm starting to clean out this one because big job coming up here. We're going to tile this floor, so we've got to put a decoupling barrier down below to make sure that's nice and smooth. So, and also so that any movement of the boards beneath doesn't crack the tiles or the grout. And we've had a very big discussion, April and I, about this wall. Originally, the idea was to just take all this plaster down, all the lath and plaster, and then put up Jacko board or something like that, and tile this whole thing. But it's a big expense to do that. It would break the bank because we've already got one big extra addition to our project, which is to replace the roof. It's to restore the roof and put a moisture barrier in it. So in order to try and keep the budget within reason, we're going to save this wall. We're going to save all these walls. We're not going to retile them. We're going to smooth them, and we are going to repair any cracks that are still in them, and we're going to fill in with plaster in those places where it's missing. like here and down under this window. Yep, sorry, there it is. And then we're going to make it all, like I said, we're going to make it all smooth. We'll get rid of all the texture, and then we'll do a impermeable waterproof primer and top coat on this in this room. And we're going to have a freestanding tub here with its own shower curtain that goes all the way around it, and old-fashioned. So it's all going to look very Edwardian kind of thing in here. Here we go. Onward to the last stop on the tour, the back bedroom. This is Cosmo's favorite place. Usually when it's sunnier, you can't get him out of here. But I took out this, this skirting board, and did it without causing any visible damage to it, which is a shock. I couldn't believe it. But see right at the edge of inside there, you can see these pipes. That's all lead. That's the main hot and cold supply right there. So all that lead's got to come out. We got to turn off the water supply, nip them off, and then pull all that lead out and recycle it. And these two narrower white pipes are going to feed the new radiator, which I just mounted here. So I got some really good advice on where to put that radiator on that wall by my doggy-in-chief, Professor Cosmo. So he's giving me really good advice on how to set things up here. So yeah, that's where we are. So we've made a decision about the bathroom. That was a bit traumatic, but I think we're in a good place. It's not going to... In essence, this whole house has lots of blemishes. There's lots of cut floorboards and gouged out floorboards and all kinds of, cosmetically challenging situations that we don't have a budget to make all of that perfect again. So we're just going to make it look good, but not perfect. Because this house is 120 years old, and it's not like we want to Botox and facelift this place. We want to make it look nice, but we don't necessarily want to make it look like it's in a magazine or a catalog. So yeah, that's the thinking. Light touch restoration, which is something that's much more affordable and doable for us. So that's what we're going to do. Who knows? We'll see when we get how good it looks when we're done with that part. And if all goes well, we'll stick with that. All right. That's this week. Let's see what happens next week. Take care. Bye.